We wanted to sit and talk for a few minutes with the parents in our church, and these have obviously been trying times, and both for adults but also for our kids. And I think one of the things we're struggling with is how can we help our kids? How can we talk to them? How can we help them to understand what's going on and life being so different? I was really thinking about what Paul says in Philippians chapter 4. He says, "What you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you." And I think one of the things we were just talking about a little while ago is how, as parents, we can model how to respond to these things. And that's really important, how we can show our children, not merely by what we tell them to do, but by how we're responding, how we are talking about being at home, about how we talk about doing homework without a teacher. And obviously that school portion is a big deal for kids. That's been a huge disruption. And even though kids complain sometimes about school, they love going and they love being with their friends, they love their teachers. So this has been really disruptive. I think one of the things that as parents we've been a little anxious about is that school side of it. And so maybe it'd be helpful just to talk a little bit about how as parents we can really help our kids while they're not in their regular place day by day.
Right. I think that's the question we're going through right now. Unfortunately, we are in this situation where we're not going to be able to see our students probably for the remainder of the year. And I know from a teacher side of it, our teachers are, to say it correctly, they're depressed, they're sad. There's been a mourning period. But we are really, really committed to continuing providing a quality, Christ-centered education for our students. And luckily for us, we have partners like you who have partnered with the school to continue their growth. We have learned a lot over the past 2-3 weeks at this point. And we know that the anxieties have only mounted on families as unemployment, as economy has dipped, as the coronavirus has grown in our area. You know, we think of Detroit currently and what is happening there, and that is so close to home. And I keep discussing and we keep talking as a staff about right now is a time to spend with family, learning and growing together. And I keep talking with our staff about the way we respond to this current situation is the way in 10 to 15 years our students are going to respond when they come across difficult times in their life. Satan's always battling for us. He's always fighting. And there's always going to be something knocking on our door to take us away from God. Right now, we have an amazing opportunity to demonstrate our love for God, to demonstrate our love for one another as a community going through this process. Does that mean that we're spending 8 hours a day in a homeschool model? No, that probably doesn't. Hopefully, that means you're spending more time as a family eating supper. You're spending time watching maybe a movie together or playing a game together. In 10, 15 years, I strongly believe our kids are going to look back at this and go, remember that time we didn't have school for like 3 months? And we played so many games as a family. My family alone, my family's all around the country. We've lived all around the country for over 6 years now, and we're having family game nights via Zoom. But we're doing family games nights, something we could have done for a long time. And it's brought us closer together already. And that is my biggest hope, that out of this terrible situation, we grow together and we take time as a family to enjoy each other.
I think it's a really good reminder. I mean, obviously, we've struggled with our kids too. It's really strange that they have school to do and yet they're not at school. And what does that mean for us as parents? But I think it's important to remember that we're parents. Mm-hmm. We don't have to be their full-time teachers. They still have teachers no matter what school they go to. And those teachers are doing their job. Yeah. And your students have some tasks from them, and I know it's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. Did you do your homework? Did you get that email? And we're all there. Yes. But be good parents. love your kids, encourage them, spend time with them. That's what they need more than anything. And that's what they're going to remember.
Right.
You know, and as we talk with our kids about these changes, it's okay to say to our kids, you know, this is weird for us too. I don't know how to do everything either. But at the same time, even within our uncertainties, to say, but I know that God's got this.
Right.
And no matter what happens, we're going to stick together as a family. Yes. God's going to be there for us and with us. We have a church community that loves us. We have a school community that loves us. And that means so much to our kids. And not just for this week or for this pandemic, but lessons they're going to keep for the rest of their lives. Right. So I really hope we can use this as an opportunity again to show our kids the fundamental things that really matter. And that our kids can say about us during this time, I learned and I heard and I saw in my parents these godly things. And it shaped me. And I'm really thinking that those are the things that are going to stick.
Yeah.
And so by all means, you know, make sure they did their math homework. By all means, you know, read the emails from whatever school your kids are at. But don't panic about those things. And even when you're anxious yourself, you say to your kids, not, we're going to all panic now. You say, why don't we pray? Why don't we read the Bible together? Why don't we sit and watch our favorite movie together? Why don't we go and play a game together? That's going to shape our kids powerfully now and hopefully for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a great way to say it. You know, yes, we want to continue the education and academic growth of all of our students. But during this time, we know there's a lot more to this situation than just academics. Right? And we know that most parents aren't educators. And so for some of you, this has been a very trying time to go through a math formula and try to explain it. I struggle with that too.
Well, that's all changed.
It's all changed, right? It's all, yeah.
I still don't understand math mountains, but that's okay.
Yeah, good. Me either. I taught it. But it's one of those things where we are there to help. Our staff is, for the past 3 weeks, put a lot of time in preparing for the potential of not returning after spring break. We knew that we could get to spring break and not lose too much ground. And we have been putting a lot of time over the past 3 weeks preparing for the potential of not coming back. And we are there. Our teachers want to meet with students. They want to help. I'm very proud of the staff and the jumps they've made. We've gone from a model of being in the classroom in front of your students to now a model of being in front of a camera, taking a video and putting it on Google Classroom, which we didn't even know really existed 3 months ago. And so our teachers have put a lot of time in learning this. I really just asked them, commit to try, knowing that it might fail, but knowing that your commitment is key. And that not everything has to be perfect. We are not an online school, nor do we want to be an online school.
Just like we're not an online church.
Yes, right?
And that's not our long-term goal either.
Yep.
And I think we all have to keep that in mind, even though we don't know what the end date is.
Yep.
We can tell our kids, this is not forever.
Yes.
You know, things will go back to normal.
Yep.
Even if the new normal isn't quite identical to the previous normal.
Yeah.
And that's going to be okay too.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good reminder as we close this session that even though our kids are looking to us as parents, and of course that's kind of their primary, not only role model, but obviously we're the ones who are in the home with them. But we're not alone in this. You know, parents, the teachers are there to help you. If your kids have questions that are theological or they want to pray, by all means, reach out and I'd be happy to talk to you either on the phone or by video chat, and we can talk to the kids and we can pray together. We are in this together. And just because we can't be in the room together doesn't mean that we've forgotten each other.
Right.
And so let's band together as families, as a community, both at church and at school. And I think our kids are going to look back one day and say this is one of the most significant moments of their childhood. And hopefully for the better.
Yes.
So thanks so much, and we'll see you again next time.